those who want to teach, and all others, male or female, wish to understand the science of music thoroughly, to make normal schools of from 30 to 100 pupils, employ an experienced professor of music who is master of the science, and have sessions of 20 or 50 days in regular succession, where you can be taught on the Pestalozzian and inductive system. Meet early in the morning, say 9 o'clock, stay till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. In these schools, you not only learn to sing, but how to sing. The author, having taught many schools in the last 10 or 15 years, and having brought out more good teachers than in 5 times the number of common singing schools, thinks therefore that you cannot commend them too highly. When I read that, I just totally connected with it, because I was singing Shaken music for something like 2 years, I think, before I started to understand any of it. And the reason that I started understanding it was because I started practicing at home on my own. And Eddie talked about practicing in his rudiments class. Michael talked about the importance of practicing in his rudiments class. And that's what my main lesson is to practice. To improve in singing this music, we have to practice. And there are a lot of different ways that can come about. You can practice scales, which we'll do intervals practice, identifying patterns in the music, so just singing songs, flipping through the book and just singing songs. And I think we'll try some of those right now. We'll just jump into different ways to practice. So first we'll start with some scales. I made this ridiculously long scale because it's fun to look at, and maybe we'll end up using all of it. I don't know, maybe not. So let's start with, we're just going to start with this do and just do a major scale, maybe stopping just right there at the octave, or maybe we'll keep going so we have to watch. You can easily find your minor scale by just heading down the La from your major scale. Or likewise, heading up the La to the Do. They're pretty straightforward. I think we all have the scales. Let's try some intervals.
Do,
of what we do in this music is, well, a big part of what the composers do is just rejumbling the same things in new ways, and maybe putting a couple new ideas in there to keep it interesting or keep us on our toes. But we sing a lot of the same sort of tropes over and over again. I think I took a rudiments class of Rob Kelly's, and we call them words. Almost, they're like compositional words.
That's what Billy's going to talk about later.
Oh, great.
I think so.
It's all related. Let's do number 6. And yeah, we'll just sing it through on the notes and then on the notes. And see if you can notice what your compositional words are in your given part. Did any of them really feel like bass style? Okay, so that's a great example because almost never does another part do the octave like that. So this is something that you've learned probably as a bass, to sing that octave. What about the tenors? So for me, and last do. We also have so mi do re mi. So you have your so mi do, which is how we key the song. Do mi so, and then you have the do re mi, the beginning of the scale that we sing all the time. It's just like little variations on what we practice and what we hear constantly. What about trebles?
A lot of them are similar to the tenor.
Yeah, so there's a lot of echoing of the tenor line. And I think the interesting thing about the treble sort of words, they often just stay up at the top. Dum so do 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 so do do do. You know, they'll hang out on top. So you have those sorts of, they're different. They're a little bit different from the tenors. And altos, you guys something pretty similar to trebles in that you hang out in your sort of local area a
Yeah,
lot.
we're going between do and soul,
Mm-hmm.
the whole song.
Do, re, mi, re, just do. Yeah. So let's try a minor key one now and see if those are any different. Let's try 74. And we'll repeat on the shapes.
Do, mi, do, la.
That was like mostly it. Okay. Tenors? Miracle. Not enough. Trebles. Once you get it once, then you know it. Then you know it. Yeah. That's a good one. And altos.
We have a completely stereotypical ending in a minor song for the alto. We hit that soul. We
Yeah.
so just below the tonic.
Yeah.
And we do we get a lot of C's in minor songs,
Right.
and they're everywhere here.
So you just know, you know what it sounds like. You
Yeah.
sing it all the time, you know what it sounds like. Also the, oh, so la, la, so la,
And
la,
then
so la.
here, for this particular song, that little pattern.
You can just sort of like put those notes together in different ways.
We've got a whole
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So little things like that, just flipping through the book, or noticing when we're singing tonight, they come up a lot in fugues where they're the little doodles that there's just the same ones come up all the time. It also happens, and Michael, I think that was a good point, the kneel long, it's just the bassist sing stuff like that all the time in minor key songs. So finding what the intervals are for your specific part. The part may sing the same sorts of intervals all over, you know, like Karen, you said, ah, sing, ah.
Well, no, we will the whole step.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not the last two notes, but
Oh,
it's
well, right.
that whole step. That's
Right.
just about every minor song, the altos do that.
Yeah, I think so. So when you sit in your parts, just, basically go down but I feel like bassists sing fas a lot. You just like have to get that fa, it's just in your blood. So figuring out what the interval conventions for your part are. So those are some ways to practice. Scales, intervals, singing songs and looking for the patterns in them. Another one, I'm gonna skip it though. Other ways that I used to always practice was using recordings, listening to recordings and jumping parts. So playing a recording and singing along on the tenor line, playing a recording and singing along on the alto line. While I was looking at it, and then the treble line, and then the bass line as well. Recordings are great because the recording can't hear you. And you can sit in a room on your own when no one else is home and mess up and play it over and over again. You play the same song for an hour and no one's going to be sick of that song except you, and if you're sick of it, then you can move on. And we have so many resources now for listening to recordings. There are CDs you can get here from camp, but the internet is like chock full of stuff that you can listen along to. Another good thing about listening to recordings and singing along with them is figuring out what your personal weaknesses are in the music. When I started switching parts, I realized that I had this break in my voice that I didn't really notice before. I haven't done anything about it, but I know it's there now, at least. Some people have problems with speeding up or slowing down. Recordings often speed up or slow down, so you can't really work on that, but you can notice it at least. You can sit back, be sort of the third party listening instead of part of it. So that's really nice. And then another good way to practice is to practice with small groups of other people. Maybe just one other person outside of your regularly scheduled singings. I do that pretty frequently, just getting together with friends and we will sing the tenor and the treble, or maybe just the tenor and bass, or alto and bass, depending. And you can switch parts then, and you can work on the things that you're having trouble with. You can repeat the song, sing it more than once. I guess my main point is that we're not limited to our regular singings. And if we were limited to our regular singings to look at this music, we would not be very good at it. Because there aren't enough regular singings. When you think about learning a new language and how you might struggle learning a new language just going to 2 classes a week. This is a new language for most of us. Most of us haven't learned about music in school. We're not musicians. And we kind of have to teach ourselves, teach each other, go to camp, singing schools, and work on it on our own time. So when I was thinking about sight singing and why to practice sight singing, I came up with 3 F's. 3 F's of sight singing. I don't know, 3 F's isn't really catchy sounding. The first F I thought of was foundations, because within our singing practice, there are many traditions, and we learn about a lot of these different traditions, especially those of us who sing a lot of Sacred Harp. We learn about the different traditions within the Sacred Harp community and the Christian Harmony community. One of the traditions is that when we begin a lesson, we sing the notes before singing the words. This is particular to our singing tradition. Most other singing traditions don't do this, they just dive right into this. We don't do that. Why don't we do that? I can answer this, or someone else can answer this. Rob, you're nodding your head, maybe you'd like to jump in.
Well, I mean, it does give us the chance to make sure the song's gonna go okay before we sing the words. But it's also just, it's showing respect to the tradition we come from in the singing schools, where we use the notes to learn music better.
Right, and there's a reason that that tradition exists. It served a purpose when it first started, and that purpose was, I think, 3-part, more than 3-part, actually, like 5-part. I mean, there's so many reasons. One of them, I think, is education. We're teaching ourselves to sing. Education and learning. You learn the part. You have a chance to figure out what your part is before you have to jump into the words. Inclusion. New people can come and they can figure it out along with us, because we're figuring it out too. Listening, which is a great skill. When we already know the song well, we can listen while we're singing on the notes, tune into each other musically, emotionally, perhaps. You can sit and help your neighbor if your neighbor's a new singer during the notes. It could be a time to just look inward during the notes, because it's not, there's no text. It's just music, and we're just making music. And this one is my favorite. You can listen to other sections. I feel like more. So yeah, this other part about looking inward. When we sing on the notes, we're just vocalizing, which I think is really interesting and something that we don't normally do culturally, just make sounds, especially make sounds with lots of other people in the room. So it can be really fun in that way. It's just this sort of human instrument made up of however many people there are. Okay, my second F, the first F was foundations, the second F is freedom. So this one is huge for me. I felt so free when I finally figured out how to read shapes. There's all this autonomy that you gain. You can open to any song in the book then. And it might take 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, but you can figure out how the melody goes. And then suddenly, like, all this stuff that's just printed on this page, you're literate to it. And it's just like, there's this whole book of music then that you can sing. I think that's brilliant. You don't have to wait for your monthly singing or your weekly singing. You can just open the book up, and it's really liberating, I find. The other thing is that it's not based on memorization then. So that's sort of like, you have all this autonomy. Being able to hear when a mistake is made. I love that. I make mistakes all the time, constantly. I mean, I made mistakes standing in front of the tenor sphere reading those songs that I've looked at 100 times before this class. And I'm going to continue making mistakes, but I know that I'm making the mistakes, which is, I think, an amazing thing. It's part of knowledge is just being aware, being more self-aware. Also, I think there are differences when you've practiced a lot where, and this is kind of maybe getting too esoteric, but which part of your brain is being activated. So when you've practiced a lot and it becomes easier to just sing intervals, to sing through the scales, and to sight read, you move the experience to a different part of your brain. You're not like scrapping, you know? Maybe I don't need to keep talking about that. And the last F is fun, right? Because it's super fun to be able to open the book and practice intervals and look through the songs and learn from them. And now I'm going to continue on because the time is moving a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So I have a list of elements to be aware of for successful sight reading, and I can run through these quickly. So when you open the page, you're just opening to any page. Let's just look at 292 because that's where my book fell open. And I have this list. I look at the time signature. So can I expect the song to be led at a quick pace or a slow pace? Quick. Okay. And how many notes can I expect to be in a measure then? So up to 4. As you know, these are the kinds of things that are just really helpful. Just start snapping through when someone calls a song and you flip open to it, looking at it, and just taking a quick glance, a composite view, time signature, you know, all those questions. Okay, what can I expect? Next, the mode, is it major or minor? And why would I care if it's major or minor? Anybody? I'll just jump in. I think it's nice to know if it's major or minor because it lets my ear know what to expect. I can get some triads in my mind, and it gives me a place within the scale. It gives me a place to start, or it lets me know where my part is within the scale, at least. The next thing to be aware of, musical notation or punctuation. So, are there sharps and naturals present? If there are they in your part? Where are they in your part? What do they modify? Repeats. Internal repeats. This song has a repeat. It's on the second brace of the song. So you don't have to worry about going back to the middle of a song. That can be super tricky. And looking for that ahead of time can keep the class together. So that's really great to look at. Are there fermatas? Are there DCs or DSs? Is there a first ending and a second ending? Because often the first ending will be a half note and the second ending will be a whole note, something like that. Looking to see if there are slurs. The next element to be aware of would be intervals. So when you hear the here, give the first notes. Listening to the keyed intervals and holding them in your head, especially the tonic note. So if you get lost, you have something to come back to. You can find it in your part. These are all things that I found help with sight singing when you're starting at the very beginning. Just holding the tonic, just clinging to it, because you can always come back to it.
What's the tonic?
With that?
What's the tonic?
Oh, the tonic note, the key note,
No.
the one in the scale, yes.
Yeah.
And then I've also found, looking at whatever part I'm singing, looking at my highest note and my lowest note in relation to the tenor line, I found can be a really good way to orient on the page. So for instance here, the tenors start on the tonic note, which is the key note, the one, the do. And if you're singing alto, you can see that, the lowest note in the alto line is just one note below that. So that can help your voice. You can find your voice within that do, si, do. You're never gonna go lower than that. Just having that in your head helps, I find. The treble line, seeing where the treble line goes as opposed to the tenor line. The tenors have the high mi and the trebles never go to that mi. So keeping the high do in your head treble, that might be a trick. Like the tenors are gonna go a lot higher. And another element to be aware of would be note length to anticipate rhythm. And the last element that I've thought of, and this is probably the last one to pay attention to, after you've sort of gotten all the other stuff under your belt, but words, tricky word things, like hyphenated words and how to pronounce them. Is it going to be Christ or is it going to be Christian? Things that come up like that. If the word is held for a long time, we don't have that in this, on this page.
Page 6.
Let's
That
look
was
at
hard.
page 6, yeah. Page 6 again, and do you say Babel or do you say Babel?
Babel.
Babel. Yeah, I would say Babel, but it sounds awful if you say Babel.
Babel is supposed, that's what I learned from my mother, but correctly, I
Yeah.
read quite recently that it's Babel, but actually, I read something about it, that definitely, the word Babel is a folk etymology.
Well, and it sounds much better on Babel than Babel. Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion, my opinion. So, and then Zion, we have we, will. There are a lot of them in the song. So just looking in advance to see how far the slur is going to take you on a specific syllable. Okay, so I'm gonna call it quits with the sightseeing section. Does anybody have any other tips? Has anybody done a lot of sightseeing on their own or practiced a lot of sightseeing? And just when I started talking about it, you identified like, oh, I have something.
I just want to re-emphasize what you said about following slurs, because that's what often trips me up in songs, is I'm just looking at the words and I don't line them up right. But if I follow where the connected beam is or a slur is, that tells me when to move on to the next syllable.
Yeah, and an interesting thing, I think, with songs that have those little doodles in them, go me, so for me, so for me, bring me. Well, it's like, well, I sang that on the shapes, why was that there? Just note, like, looking down maybe while you're even singing the shapes, because you've sung that same doo-doo-doo so many times that you don't have to pay attention. You can look and see, oh, it's going to be will. And these, of course, are things that take a long time to get into the singing tool belt. And if you can work on checking one of them every time, and then after that one, if you've got the time signature and the how many notes in the measure, if you've got that down and you can do that quickly, then do the modes, and then once you can get that quickly, add something else to it, and just keep adding to it until you can just look at the page, and it's a picture instead of all these different elements. You just see someone's face.
When my part has rests, and then I come in, sometimes I'm lost where I am to know what tone I should be returning on. And I find it very, very helpful to see with the other parts who are still singing what they're doing, because frequently the parts imitate each other. And so when I'm really scared I'm going to lose my coming back in tone, I will very quietly to myself, I will sing along with the part that's going to be real close just before I'm to come in. They'll be in their tone, they'll be either the same as mine or real close to it, so I can come in on mine.
That's a great point, Karen. And there's so many different tricks. And different things work for different people, so you have to try it all. I totally hum my note. There's so much other noise going on. You can usually get away with it, just keep to yourself a little bit. But sometimes I will just see, oh, the tenors are singing that same note that I'm gonna be coming in on, so I'm just gonna listen to them extra hard. And it can be really hard because fugues are so distractingly wonderful that you wanna just hear what people are doing, but anyway. Does anybody else have something they wanna throw out?
There's one, a lot of times when I'm going through a really hard song, I don't know it, I didn't get that, or the section didn't get it, mark it. So
Oh, yeah.
So I always been over pages and go back and practice, whatever.
Practice, so practicing.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, and then there's some reoccurring texts.
Yes.
If you can look, I've done a text before, then you have to maybe flub up later.
Pay more attention to the music, the notes then, if you know you're gonna know the text. Michael?
When I see a fugue that has staggered entrances, so alto bass, tenor treble, alto bass, tenor treble, alto bass, tenor treble, alto bass, tenor treble, then I know, okay, I'm gonna have to count. So I have to actually either beat time or just tap my leg to count so that I know when I was coming in, because it's very, very easy to miss an entrance or to come in like half a bar early. So it's just the contour of the song we recognize when we
Right.
pay attention to it like that.
So more patterns,
Yeah.
but this is a different kind of pattern, it's the pattern of the actual structure of the song, as opposed to the pattern of the notes in the
Right.
part. Yeah?
To go really slowly, sight reading, and then you just think about the time differently than it would be subdivided in the last 7 years, something like that. Might be one thing that, a lot of recordings are really fast
Totally.
and stuff, but just to, beat it 4, if it's in 6, beat it 3, or whatever. John was talking about that, with doing triplets and stuff. It's just like, keep on subdividing until it's like, you're focused in on a small enough number of notes that you can make sense out of it.
Totally. So, like in a song that's 6/4 or something, it has tons just beating in double threes really slowly, or there's some other crazy, there's like 9/8.
There's a 12.
Like 12/8, yeah. That was so complicated to me. But yeah, beating it out in smaller parts can be really helpful. Rachel, did you have one?
That was exactly what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah, singing slowly when you practice. I mean, nobody's watching, you're not leading the class, so take your time with it. Where does this go until 3? Okay, mercy. Let's conclude the sight singing section and go on to parts practice so that we can sing a little bit. I sat in the second half of Michael's Ruden's class this morning, and you read a section from the rudiments that I had totally keyed on to, which is page 15, and it's section 101. We recommend singers not to confine themselves entirely to the part that suits their voices best, but practice frequently on the other parts by which the voice may be improved very much, giving more flexibility, volume, and compass. But I didn't take compass to be the same meaning as you. To me, compass meant direction. Like when you try more parts, that's how I interpret it. When you try more parts, you know better what you're suited to sing. In my error of interpreting, I still kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like that my interpretation.
So remember, the only male that shows up at the singing, you gotta sing bass.
Not necessarily. I don't know. I mean, it could, maybe, but.
I was so good.
Okay, so I'm just gonna run through what I think the benefits of singing different parts are, and then we're gonna sing ourselves silly. Improve vocal range. This is what William Walker is talking about. How to sing different parts, though. Pay close attention to how you are feeling. pay close attention to the, how warmed up your voice is and how you sound. Don't go sit in another section and push yourself so hard that you hurt your voice. But this is a good way to get to know your voice better and to find out where your vocal breaks are, to find out what part might be just too low for you to sing or too high for you to sing. You need to place yourself. Another benefit, improve sight reading. So each line has its distinct conventions or patterns or, word compositional words. So singing all the different lines exposes you to lots of intervals and runs that are common within that line, which we went over in that first section. And it does that in a way so that you don't have to set aside time for intervals practice or scales practice. So if you don't like running scales and practicing intervals, just sing other parts, because you'll get the whole range then. Another benefit is that you can hear new voices. You may become very familiar with the people who are within your given section. Who are all the other people that you sing with? What do they sound like? Do you know them? Do you recognize their voices? Go sit next to them. Have them come sit next to you. Another benefit is pinch hitting. And this is what you were talking about, Bob. Have you ever arrived at a singing only to find that a particular section is empty or nearly empty? And wouldn't it be wonderful to feel comfortable and excited even about sitting in any section? It keeps the music fresh. You feel like you know all the tenor lines and you're just not even paying attention anymore. It's boring and you're like, this song again. Try sitting in the treble section, because maybe you'll love the song that you didn't really care for before. Understanding the music with greater depth. Singing familiar songs from an unfamiliar section can give us new perspective on the music, which can help us become better leaders. Because when you know what's happening in each section, or you can anticipate it, then you can really embody the song, you can hear it in a different way, you can relate to each section as they're singing what maybe is the most exciting part. That's it. I ran through it really quick. Does anybody have questions on benefits or any additional things that, yeah, Rachel?
If you're not a tenor, if you want to leave the song, it's good to know the tenor.
Totally, that's a great point. Sit in the tenor section so you can learn the tenor part. Yeah.
And if your voice gets tired, like in an all-day singing or something like this, then you can move to something that uses a different chunk of the range and sing longer without hurting your voice. And it sounds like a whole different song. Even as an alto, like sitting over next to the basses versus sitting over next to the drums, it just sounds so different.
Totally. Rob, did you have one?
Well, I was thinking about people who are very, very reluctant to try another part because perhaps they're an alto and they just cannot sing high at all. And there's nothing wrong with singing at a different octave. Singing the treble part way down below your alto range or something like that, just to try out the part.
I usually end up doing that by the end of the day.
I think, yeah, that's.
It works in the other direction too. If you're a treble singer and you want to try the bass part, sing it up an octave. Just help drown out the basses.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great point, that there's flexibility, and also within any singing, every part is going to experience a tremendous range. Many of the alto songs are low, but many of them are quite high for the chest voice to be singing. And sometimes I feel like I wish a couple trebles would come over and sing with the altos during higher songs that the voices aren't as comfortable singing. But I wanted to go back also to that little section from the rudiments with the idea of the voice being improved, giving it more flexibility, more volume, and more compass in the idea of range. Because I think that's also very valuable. Just, polishing your tool. getting it to do more. Let's sing, how about, for our last 20 minutes. Because we've got a lot of songs to do. We're gonna do these in parts, so we'll do tenor, bass, treble, alto, and we'll just all sing together. Let's start with number 48. I don't know, I also don't
You mean
think
everybody sing?
everybody's going to
The
sing
same
in
part,
unison,
the same
the same part, and sing in the octave that is comfortable for you. I'm not gonna stand because I don't wanna stand for 20 minutes. I'll just sit up really straight. We'll sing the tenor together. Okay, let's put all the parts together and I'll stand for this. Is there one about hills or mountains or anything? I guess science is hill. First one. Charming is our voice, of course, because we're singing. And let's have happy ears too. So 1, 2, 3. No one love you just on their feet, who stand on Zion's hill, who bring salvation on their tongues, who bring salvation on their tongues, and words of peace reveal. I'm
You
sorry.
know, it also helps when you have those et ceteras.
Yes.
Which the lower voices are particularly played on.
Let's sing 348.
Do the same thing?
Yes, we're doing parts practice now, so we're gonna learn from each other. We'll all sing the tenor and then the bass and then the treble and alto. That one is about rhythm. The intervals are not super challenging, but the rhythm is. So we'll try the bass now and see what we do. The bass notes are not challenging, so it's going to be rhythm. Again, singing the bass, so fascinating. Treble. Okay, let's put it all together. Let's sing verse 1 and 3. Verses 1 and 3. Don't need no. I'll speak his truth when the sun fades away. We'll mention in heaven that loves no decay. A city of light where we freely may roam. The kingdom of promise, the saints that behold. Oh, oh. like,
You slow down?
you slow down and you can't get those rests in.
Yeah.
And he's like, sweet, sweet home.
That makes more sense on the words too.
It does, it makes a lot more sense, because sweet is more intuitive than river. So that one was about rhythm more. I think let's do another rhythm one. 324. Keep that into your heads. I'm just thinking again about Michael's rudiments class. This morning he talked about being aware of where the rhythm switches up, because you'll get into a rhythmic pattern and then suddenly it'll be reversed. So that totally happens in this song. I can't remember where. We'll find out soon. Okay, everyone on the tenor bass. Very do-centered bass. Maybe we should have started with the bass. Yes. Treble. Do, mi, And alto is also very repetitive on me. Do, mi, Okay, let's sing 1 and 3. And this is a great example of needing to figure out the rhythm so that we can all sing the words together, so it's just not like a word mashup. And there are a lot of words. Do. There
Wow.
to, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
have to. Let's sing 356. In Portland, we're super into this song right now. And it's got a great, there's a great section in the middle of that second brace where everybody goes unison. So it's a great time for us all to listen to each other and tune and sing together.